Portsmouth Beer Week, coat of arms. How's it going? Yes.
Okay, wow.
That 1 second delay had me going for a second. I'm like, they're not having any fun. We got to start this now. So yes, for those of you that don't know us, I am Brian.
Oh, I'm Ben. Hi.
And I'm Sean Jansen.
And we are part of the Seacoast Beverage Lab podcast. We do a podcast every week based around beer. And this week is a very special week. It's Portsmouth Beer Week. So we're here doing it live at the Coat of Arms. Thanks for having us, guys, at the Coats.
And just for a disclaimer, we've done about 140 shows, but this is only our first one live because we're streaming live online right now.
Seasoned veterans. Yeah, we're live online. You can tell your friends. The website is SBLPodcast.com. We're going to go live until the Wi-Fi shits the bed, and then we'll just keep it going for you guys. But yeah, so again, we do a beer podcast every week, and second time live for people in front of us. Usually we don't wear pants because the webcam is kind of this high, so it's very weird sitting with actual fully clothed. It's very weird. But yeah, so again, we're here for Portsmouth Beer Week. A quick rundown of what's going on here. The Coat of Arms, unlike a lot of other places, is doing an event every single night. But again, tonight we're meeting the people from Neighborhood Beer Company. That's why we're here. Neighborhood, give it up.
Yeah.
These are the people in your neighborhood.
Shut his mic
in
off.
your neighborhood.
How do you turn his down?
Shut his mic
Turn
off
his
now.
down.
In your neighborhood.
We'll be talking with Neighborhood in a second. And again,
If they're still here.
Yeah, if they haven't left. Oh my God. But yeah, so tonight is that. Tuesday night, they're doing a Dark Side Imperial Assault where they have featured beers from Moat Mountain, Stone, Smutty Nose, and a lot more. Oh, and Rising Tide. So that's tomorrow. Thursday, we're doing a Throwback Thursday. They call it Fat 90 PH, Fat 90s Cask Takeover with Throwback.
What do you think that's all about?
I think it's about just a.
They are looking for the exit signs.
It's too early for that noise. But yeah, so it says 90s attires, highly encouraged. They'll be doing some food pairings as well. Also, some Fat Alberta. If you guys haven't had Fat Alberta from Throwback, it is basically like a peanut butter cup stout. Super, super good. Check it out. Friday, we're doing a Granite State Cask Nights with Sebago, Moat Mountain, and Great North Brewing Company. And Saturday is another cask night. New Hampshire Stone Face, Smutty Nose, Throwback, Moat Mountain, and Great Rhythm. So again, we really appreciate the Coat for having us. They are doing a ton of events. If you weren't here the past couple days, where they were just friggin' slammed. It was crazy.
Biggest day ever, Saturday?
Biggest day ever. Well, just in general, everywhere. Biggest day ever. Kick off the Portsmouth Beer Week. So
Gorgeous beer event, too. Tons of people showing up. The place was set up nice. It was beautiful.
Some other event. So give it up for Sean. Sean is co-founder of the Portsmouth Beer Week. I don't want to make this show any more about you than it has to be. So give us a quick.
Let's knock that off real quick.
Just give us a quick rundown. Is anything else you want to give a shout out before we just kind of get to the real meat of the thing?
Well, we're at the Coat, so go to the night.
Yep.
And drink some cask. If you ask them for a spirits cocktail, they might still be able to pour one from the other night. Who knows?
Awesome. I'm gonna get right to it.
That's it.
We'll introduce the guest.
Well,
Let's get going here.
we'd like to invite up the 7-time author, or official, or is it how many books?
That is number 7.
This is book number 7.
Book number 7,
called
right
Beer
here.
Styles. If you guys would like to come up tonight and join us.
Yes, we're talking to Joe Burwanger and Horst Dernbusch of Neighborhood Beer Company. And again, before we start, they had 4 offerings tonight at the Coats. They have the Boss Flamingo Bronze Ale, the Decadent Eclipse Black Lager, which is new, first on draft here. It is tasty treats. They also have the Hollowed Hammock Blonde Ale and the Junkyard Pedigree Copper Ale. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. I think first Sean's going to get into. Oh. Good.
I'm not
If not, Sean can share the mic. He's fine with it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep. Everyone heard that? Translated it? Got it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's multilingual. It's good stuff.
Naturellement. J'oubliais.
So just getting started. If you guys can start off, if you don't mind, just talking, give a little introduction of Neighborhood Beer Company, how you started, and how long you've been around.
Excellent.
Turn on the mic.
You're good. You just got to get
Good.
it right up.
All right. I'm Joe Burwanger with Neighborhood Beer Company. We've been around for 5 months out of Exeter, New Hampshire. We are, thank you. We are a German-style brewery that everything that we do has an American twist to it based on a classic German style. And we put this concept together about 2.5 years ago. And it's taken a lot of time, a lot of energy to put together. And we have one of our founders is Horst Dornbusch, the award-winning brewer and author and consultant to the brewing industry, who's here today to talk about what we're all about.
So just getting right into it, can you give us a little of your background, Horst?
Well, how much time you got?
You have about 30 seconds.
Okay. Once upon a time in the last century, I was born in a city called Düsseldorf along the Rhine in Germany, and now I'm here. How are you doing? And I'm a legal immigrant. I did not swim across the St. Lawrence or the Rio Grande, and I did not use a rowboat to get across the Atlantic.
So how did you get started into the beer industry, brewing industry?
Okay. Once upon a time, for 10 years, I was an editor at the Reader's Digest, and they always condense things. So I'll try to do the same here so that you don't get bored. I arrived on these shores in 1969. I got off the boat. I'm one of the last immigrants who took a boat rather than an airplane. And I went to a store, and I went to this big cooler that said beer. And I took one home to where I stayed in New York, and I discovered that wasn't beer. It did say Schäfer, and they had a jingle that says Schäfer is the one to have when you're having more than one, but I was not going to have none of it. And some friends of mine said, try another brand, try Michelob. And I couldn't really distinguish between Schäfer and Michelob, and they decided, now I have two choices. Either I go back home where I can have good beer, or I learn how to make beer myself. This was the beginning of my entry into beer. Within about 1.5 years, I had a small Lilliputian brewery in my apartment. I was not only a legal immigrant, but I was also an illegal brewer because by 1970 it was too early for me. Jimmy Carter only legalized brewing in February of 1978. So I was already a criminal.
Well then, the cops, we just get this guy out of here. We've been waiting for it. No. So what styles did you gravitate towards when you began brewing?
My first beer was an indefinable ale. It was made from extract with Fleischmann yeast and Domino sugar and local tap water. It did have flavor, unlike the store-bought beers, and I discovered that I quickly had a lot of friends. I thought it was my inimitable personality, but it was just a free beer that I was dispensing. So,
how did you learn how to brew? Local texts or?
Well, you see, there are all these smart textbooks in brewing science. Most of them published by professors at the Weinstefan University in Munich, and because the professors and we know the same language, it was easy for me to read them, and that was my bedside reading. And that's how I gradually learned all about brewing science. And then I became sort of respectable. I was in publishing for a long, long time. And finally, I decided to chuck it all, quit the corporate career, try not to die at age 50 from stress. And I started my own brewery in Massachusetts. Inside the Ipswich Brewing Company, I had a contract brewery. And I had a partner who said he knew something about business, but sort of didn't. And so 6 years later, I was bankrupt. And since then, I've been a consultant in the international brewing industry, and I'm doing much, much better than I did when I had my own brewery. And then I was sort of halfway in retirement when this guy, with his bright eyes and his lantern and his eye sockets, talked me into joining the neighborhood beer company. And so I reluctantly did that. And since then, I believe, I think I was able to prove to all of you that I still know how to make a few beers properly. Anyway.
What do you think? Concur.
So before we get into neighborhood, I know you had a good part in editing the Oxford Companion to Beer, which is it's probably 3 times the size of this.
900 pages,
Yes.
double the size. Yeah.
So it's a thick steak, if I may. How much of a task was that? Because that's quite a large book.
Oh my God, that was awesome. Garrett Oliver worked on the book, the brewmaster at Brooklyn. He worked on the book for 3 years, and he was supposed to process 1,350 entries. And about 6-7 months before the book had to go to press, they had an editorial meeting because only about 450 entries had been received and edited. So he got in touch with me in a panic and said, please, can you help me? And I was an idiot. I said yes. And then it turned out that the next 6 months, roughly, I spent about 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, doing nothing but writing that book. And there are about 165 contributors in several languages in the book. And we made one big mistake. We asked some of the contributors, the foreigners, to write in English. That was a big mistake because even if they know their stuff, they don't know how to express it in English. That meant a lot of the entries had to be rewritten from scratch, which was an awesome amount of work. And then a lot of people said they would contribute, but didn't. So it turned out that between Garrett and myself, we had to write 400 of these entries by ourselves. So you can imagine that was a real slave job, but we made it.
Out of all the entries, what's your personal favorite?
You mean in the Oxford Companion?
That's right. There's not that many.
Among the 1,350 entries, let's pick the one that Garrett Oliver wrote about cask conditioning.
What better place to even talk about cask conditioning than the coat having five lines? Can you give us any insight on how great casks are? Your some of your favorite styles to have on cask.
Well, again, I have to probably swim against the tide here, even though I know in Maine the tide is rising, which is lovely.
Nice one. See, we need you on the show every week. This is the kind of humor we need every single week. Thank you.
Hey, I'm just a dumb foreigner. I use your language, but I know not what I say. Right?
Perfect.
Let me do this in bad English. Where was we?
Yeah, so we're talking about casks.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, I am not a traditionalist when it comes to cask conditioning because I personally both hate isinglass and I hate diarrhea.
Who doesn't? I mean, really. Quick show of hands.
No takers.
Those true traditionalists who like to find their beer with isinglass, I am not on their side. The other thing is an establishment like this does well with cask conditioned beer, but there are a lot of establishments, they don't have the turnover to have a good cask conditioned beer because once you open it, you pour it by gravity or by beer engine and you allow oxygen to come in. 3 days later, the beer sucks, even though it was wonderful when you opened the cask. So cask conditioned ales there's much more to that than just saying, wow, this is great stuff. No, you need to know as a publican how to give the proper care to it. And if you have more casks then you can pour in the aggregate in a reasonable amount of time, then you shouldn't be doing it because you are doing a disservice to the notion of craft beer because what comes out of your beer engine tastes bad and the consumer will not say, the publican did a poor job. They say, I don't like craft beer.
Cheers to the coat for that.
Cheers to the coat.
Now, you mentioned isinglass. There's about 98% of the room probably doesn't know what isinglass is.
Oh, it's the inert content of the float bladder of tropical fish.
And why do they use that?
Because it's inert and particulate sticks to it, and it enhances the sinkability, if that's the word, of particulate in the beer. Thus, the beer becomes clear and all the gunk collects at the bottom, or I should say the bottom belly of the cask. Thus, if you roll your cask from the truck into a pub, you're whirling up all the gunk and you're remixing the isinglass. And then if you don't wait 3 or 4 days for the cask to settle out, you're pouring isinglass to your customers, including all the gunk that you're not supposed to be getting. And that is really not good for metabolism.
So let me get this straight. Against having fish guts in beer? Is that what I'm gonna?
No, my question is to you. Why
Touché.
does that surprise you? I know Budweiser
Touché.
doesn't use fish guts in their
Touché.
beer either, but that's a very low bar.
There's absolutely a test after this. Winner gets nothing, but I would love someone to read back these answers.
And then you have to learn how to pronounce endopeptidase.
Yes, and spell it too, for sure. So let's talk about Exeter, because I'm a big fan. Who else? Any Exeter area people around here? Most excellent. All right, awesome.
I think that was 3 people.
That's 3 people, yeah, 4 or 5. But no, so as a resident of Newfields myself, very excited to have a brewery so close to home, and more importantly, so not in Portsmouth, if that kind of makes sense, because I enjoy having breweries that kind of...
The world is big.
The world's huge, and there should be more breweries in other places, and I appreciate you opening up there. My first question is, why Exeter? Joe, what's...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We actually looked at 14 different locations before choosing this one.
Okay, in Exeter?
No,
Oh.
14 different locations all around Portsmouth,
Okay.
Epping, Newmarket, Stratham, just looking for different opportunities. This was the only location where we could have manufacturing in a major area where we could be on a road that has 25,000 people or more on a daily basis. And we checked out the water in all the different locations, and it has the softest water profile to make the kinds of beers that we like to make.
All right. My follow-up question is, why right next to a Jaguar dealership? Someone's getting their car tuned every now and then.
Our beers are better financial value.
Yes. You sell more cars, we'll sell more beer. It works. Right. Yeah. For those who are unfamiliar, again, I forgot to mention, neighborhood is right off of exit 9 on Route 101. Literally cannot miss. So know where it is.
Those cars really don't run all that well.
Touche. Now, Joe, a little bit on your background. How did you get into to brewing beer? 'Cause I understand that you have brewed many beers before.
So, actually, about 5 years ago. Yep. You can hear me now? All right. Good. Excellent. Way up.
That one you really got to eat.
There.
Right up in there.
The audience was like, less Joe, more horse.
Nice. Nice. All right. So about 5 years ago, I was approached by a buddy who came to me and said, listen, I just happened upon this trademark of a craft beer in Chicago. And he said, I don't know if it's worth anything, but it's called Beta Brau. It was the first craft beer in Chicago. And I had a marketing company, and we did some market research and found out like 500,000 people remembered the brand and wanted to get it back. So I decided to follow Rob to Chicago and start this company from scratch. We chased down the original years old living in Canada who had the original recipe. He had a cryo-frozen yeast in a lab. And we found a small brewery. We knocked on every door, found a small brewery that was willing to try to bring this beer back from the dead. And then we sold it door to door all over Chicago until we ran out of capacity in the small brewery and then had to move to contract brewing in Wisconsin. At which time, my old partner said, "You got to move to Chicago." I talked to my lovely wife sitting over there right now, and she said, "No way in hell." And we have kids in the high school out here, and we love New Hampshire. So we decided to stay. And Mike O'Donnell, my other partner over there.
Come up, you want to come up so you can be seen in the video? You can poke your head right in the middle.
There it is.
There you are.
There he is.
Oh boy.
Mike O'Donnell and I started taking a look at this area and New Hampshire in particular. And Vermont was busting at the seams with craft beer, and so was Maine and Massachusetts. And we said, guess what? Now is the time for New Hampshire. There's a lot of really good things going on in craft beer. We need to get involved. I had a lot of experience over a couple years of dealing with German-style beers. And I called Horst after reading one of his books, found out he was in just down the street in...
I can see New Hampshire from my house.
So first you start off with in Chicago with a guy that was 85, and then
Yes.
and then you
Yes.
and then you
now
seeked
we
out
pick
another
me.
bromance.
Yes,
Now
another
we pick me
bromance
because I'm not yet
with a guy
85.
who knows more beer than I do. Yes, yes.
Can I have my cane, please?
A bromance indeed. Good Lord, Sean.
It's
a bromance.
Bromance.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, come on up here. You're taking over.
Excellent. So obviously your styles of brewing aligned. How did you guys come up with your first flagship, which I would guess is the Boss? Is what's
The
going
Boss
around?
Flamingo. Do you want to
So-
tell the story?
So great name. I want to know who's Boss, who's Flamingo. Yeah, we got. Yeah, who's the Boss?
Ah,
Yeah. So tell us about. We'll go through the list. Tell us about Boss Flamingo and how that came to be.
all right. So when we were,
But tell the truth.
I will try to tell the truth. Horst and I were having a meeting at the Portsmouth Brewery, sitting at the bar at the corner, right by the little circular
He
area.
calls that a meeting.
It was a meeting, and it had all of Horst's books sitting on the bar. And we said, Horst, for our first instrumental beer, we need something crazy. And he said, crazy? I have crazy for you. And he opens this book, and he looks at this thing. Do you know what a Dampf beer is? Like, no. Does anyone know what a Dampf beer is? Anyone? No.
How do you spell that?
D-A-M-P-F.
Oh, Dampf.
Dampf,
Oh.
meaning steam in German. So he then educates me on what a Dampf beer is. And yes, this one here.
There it is, right there.
Boss.
So Horst, what is a Dampf beer?
Well, okay. In the 1890s, the darkest portion of the Bavarian forest near the Czech Republic was a very economically depressed area where only dirt poor farmers lived. And the brewers who lived there were also mostly dirt poor. So they made a beer that was made from crappy malt, crappy hops, and the brewers didn't know how to maintain their yeast. So whenever they brewed, they had to go and beg for fresh yeast from the rich wheat beer brewers in the town down the road. And as you know, wheat beer is made with a particular yeast that puts a lot of phenolics and clove and banana flavors into wheat beer, right? That's where that comes from. The typical wheat beer flavor comes from the yeast and not from the wheat. So they made a barley-based garbage beer with wheat beer yeast. So this to me was the obvious beer that we would not want to make. And then this guy says, yeah, let's make it. But let's give it some pixie dust. What can you do to bring this beer into the 21st century? So we ennobled it. We turned this crappy peasant beer into a noble, elegant, sophisticated brew. We bought the best malt we can get. We came up with a composition of great hops that were not oxidized and cheesy or scratchy. And we stuck to the tradition of using a very good wheat beer yeast in the beer, and we bumped up the alcohol to over 7%. And so this was supposed to be a joke that I came up with. But, then, as I said, he has these lanterns in his eyes, and he gleamed and said, yeah, let's do it. So we made the first batch, and I sort of figured, now he got his way, and maybe nobody will like it. We will never do it again. And within a couple of weeks, it was our bestseller.
So to be fair, everyone that has the Boston Lager, you're not drinking garbage. It is a way better garbage.
Yes.
Noble garbage.
Noble, yes. But the name Flamingo, just...
So the phenolics from the yeast, sometimes with the right nose, you get a little bit of bubble gum.
Okay.
And when you think bubble gum,
Yep.
you think pink.
Yep.
And there's a little bit of fruit kind of esters on it. And so we thought flamingo.
Got it.
And once we thought flamingo, we thought, oh my God, this has a lot of alcohol. It's got a lot of hops, 65 IBUs. And this must be the boss of all the flamingos.
Nice. I mean, but it is quite a cute tap handle, though. Sorry.
I thought you were going to say flamingos taste like chicken.
That's another beer. It's
You're
another beer.
supposed to drink it, not
this
eat
one.
it. Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Your personal experience with that?
Not yet.
Sean's a local flamingo hunter here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They kind of
You have to
flock.
stand on
He's
one
batting
foot for a little
zero.
while. Yeah, you get out there, you perch on one foot, and you stand around with them for a little bit.
You've heard of Dog
Nice,
the Bounty Hunter.
nice.
You have Sean the Flamingo Hunter. It's pretty similar. Boy.
In other words, the Flamingo is a wheatless wheat beer. That's the way you want to look at it. It's a barley-based wheat beer, and it is an oxymoron
Yes.
With a lot of hops.
made by a moron.
I mean, we didn't say it, so morons. No, can't say that. It's crazy.
So going down the list, the second beer that we have on tonight is First. I know because I was the first to check into it. Thank you.
On Untapped, wait, real quick. Untapped. Who has Untapped? Everybody badges that you can earn this week. One is by checking into 3 different venues during the week, and the other one is checking into 10 different venues, and I'm 2 away. And if I don't get it tonight, I'm just gonna go home. But yeah. So there's
Monday.
Nice. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
I can't go out the rest of the week. I'm not allowed to go out. It's tough. But yes, so it's Portsmouth
only
Beer
day
Week badge.
3 of Portsmouth Beer Week.
Yeah.
Yes,
So if there's anyone in the room that's already got the superstar, you rock.
you are a
Hats
superstar.
off.
Yes. So continue.
So the second beer that we have tonight is the Decadent Eclipse Black Lager. Sure. Some people say that.
It's a lager.
It's a lager. Why don't you tell us about that, sort of what the genesis of that was?
The lager,
Oh, the Schwarzbier?
the Schwarzbier.
Now. Well, you know about the famous...
You're still on.
It's on.
Hello? You know about the famous Reinheitsgebot, the purity law, which says you cannot make a beer with oats and ferment it with bottom fermenting yeast. In other words, in Germany, you are not allowed to have an oat component in a beer that's a lager. And I say bullocks to that. See, there was a reason why I left the country. So, one of the most difficult
We've been asked that before.
beers to brew is a Schwarzbier, a black lager. Why is it difficult? Because it's not supposed to be roasty, yet it's supposed to be pitch black dark. In order to make a beer dark, you have to use roasted malt. So how do we manage to make a beer that's smooth and non-roasty, and it just charms your palate, but it is black? This is the beer. We know the trick, and I ain't gonna tell you. It's for me to know, and for you never to find out.
Long sleepless nights, just praying.
There you go. And then what we did, of course, because we give it an American twist, we used various hops in there from different continents. It's a nice mélange of hops. Mélange is mix in French. Don't worry about it. And We bumped the alcohol up to 7.5%, but the fermentation is extremely clean. No diacetyl, no buttery notes, no fusel alcohol. It's totally clean. And in order to make it very creamy, so that it just goes down like butter without having the buttery floral flavors or the fruity flavors, we added a little bit of non-conform oats. So think of this as a delicate, gentle, smooth lager version of an imperial oatmeal stout.
Yum.
So
Nobody makes it.
as Horst says, this is a German imperial oatmeal Schwarzbier, which I don't think anyone else makes. Giles.
We got a lot more of these up our sleeves. Trust me.
Love it.
Yeah. So I'll talk about the third. We almost brought a hammock in just to talk about it, but we didn't. Sean didn't.
Nice.
Sean likes to
That
lay
would have been
in.
good.
That's fine. But so I know one of your first beers you launched along with the Flamingo was the Hollowed Hammock. Just give us a little description about that beer.
The Kolsch.
The Kolsch.
Well, you know what a Kolsch is. It's a German.
Well, actually,
style.
so may
not.
So I think what you guys stand out for is non-conforming, but traditional non-conforming.
Yes.
If I
German.
look like this and I'm a nonconformist,
I mean, we got a little something going on here. So in this we're right now in a middle of a very hoppy double IPA
Yes.
kind of world where you guys are coming up with Kolsch's, and to me, Ben and Sean, we're big Kolsch fans, big pale ale fans, but no one really kind of gravitates towards that. But you are making a Kolsch,
We're driving it. Yes.
which is talk to us about it.
well, the Kolsch is of course the ultimate quaffing beer, and we came out with it in the winter because we closed before winter, but we expect this to be a big seller in the summer, quite frankly, because you can drink gallons of it. Think of a Kolsch.
Glad I got the permission to do that.
Yes, you did.
While you're lying in your hammock in your own backyard, we call it the hallowed hammock, for heaven's sake. Isn't that obvious? So a Kolsch, okay, our Kolsch is a super blonde German pale ale, but unlike a British pale ale, it is fermented with an extremely clean fermenting yeast, and we drop the temperature so that the yeast works very slowly. Thus, the flavor profile is totally clean, and we use the palest of the pale malts we can get, and we're using a very delicate combination of hops that stress aromatics rather than bitterness. So you get we built this beer not for the upfront feeling or taste, but for the finish. We want this beer to have a long-lasting, mildly malty and mildly hop aromatic balance that it lingers on your tongue and on your palate forever and says, "Can I have some more, please?" Okay.
That's good for
So,
business too. Great for business.
Our idea was next to this one, which is a bit of a demanding beer that might put hair on your chest. We also wanted.
What are you talking about?
Wanted a beer that will stand up very well to the sweat of your brow after you've mowed your lawn on a sunny Sunday afternoon.
That's it.
Here to that.
Here. Cheers
Here.
to that beer.
Cheers.
Yes. Drink gallons of it. You heard it here. Buy gallons of it from the coat, and then go to the brewery to get it.
And the interesting thing about that beer is that we've got a lot of people coming into the brewery who don't drink beer.
Okay, sure.
And so a date comes in and says, well, he's going to have beer, but I don't drink beer. Like, well, do you drink Chardonnay? Yes.
Okay.
And so there's a little bit of hop character to it that has a little bit of a Chardonnay-like finish. And almost 90% of the time,
Nice.
you give them a little bit of that, and they now like beer.
So
It's
the
very
wife,
gentle.
so the
very
wife liked the
gentle.
beer and the husband didn't.
So no. So what happened?
No, that's
that
the world today,
typic-
though.
Typically don't. But there have been
Used to
also
say.
some Miller Bud Coors fans that come in that only drink the lightest of light beers, And then we also give them the hammock, and they're like, oh, this is something I can drink. So this is really our gateway drug for all of our German-style beers.
Excellent.
You see, I am not a sexer.
That makes
Nice
one of us.
implication.
That makes one of us here.
You see, we are an equal opportunity unisex pleaser.
It says so on the back of the book. It's right. No, okay. It has no.
It says so in the back of the book.
It's right there. Yeah, it says
Yes.
equal.
We please all sexes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And that's the show
Always.
opener. So
I ain't gonna touch
now.
that with any
regularly,
of any
yes.
description.
And last on the list for the tap
But you can drink
takeover,
it all day long.
Oh.
we got the Junkyard Pedigree Copper Ale coming in at 7.5.
Yes.
What's the story here?
Again? Okay.
Sticka.
I was
Last
beer.
one.
Sorry,
Last
last beer.
all right. Those who are true beer aficionados and cognoscendi of beer history may know that the signature beer of the town of Düsseldorf, where I was born, is the Alt beer. And there are 4 brew pubs that have invented the Alt beer. One of them is the Urier, and they decided if the Bavarians can have a Bock beer and a Doppelbock and so on, we can make a strong Alt beer. So I have had their strong Alt beers, and their strong Alt beer is called Sticke or Doppelsticke. And Sticke is the local vernacular for Stikum, which means secret. And the brewmaster made a secret, very strong Alt beer twice a year. There's only one brewery in the world that makes a Doppelsticke one. That's us. So basically, I've taken their recipe, and I know exactly how they make it. They have told me. The fools, huh? And so we bumped it up even more, and we once again created a few interesting hop combinations. If you want to talk about that, by all means.
Yes.
Depends on how much you want to reveal. And
All the secrets right now. Go.
No,
And
not so much.
anyway, so this is basically, think of this as a German-style barley wine, but it's extremely clean tasting, with a lingering finish and some residual sweetness, and you don't even know that it hammers you.
I mean, like,
Wow.
yowzers, as one would say. I don't want you to
Don't get him.
no, don't get hammered, but no, please do, but appropriately. But I want you to talk about one more beer. It's not on the list here, but you would have invented, amongst a lot of beer styles, you invented your very own beer style,
Yes.
which rarely happens. Can you talk a little bit about your mahogany? It's called a mahogany ale for the
Detonator.
layman, but the detonator.
Oh, the detonator.
Real quick.
Oh,
Very new. Boom.
Make the dead terrorist.
It's in the book.
I like it that you have to translate for it. Too.
Yes. This happens all the time.
All right. I had some business in Quebec, and I have a good friend in Montreal who has a garage with 2 tiny brew systems. And she is actually in the brew industry. And I said, Debbie, while I'm there, you want to brew beer with me? And she said, yeah, let's do something really crazy. So there is a wheat beer, Hefeweizen, right? There's a dark wheat beer, a Dunkelweizen. There is a wheat-style Bock beer, a Weizenbock. There is a Weizen ice-frozen, a freeze-distilled wheat Bock beer. But there is no such thing in the entire world, you can Google it, no such thing as a Dunkelweizen Doppelbock. And I said, Debbie, let's make a Dunkelweizen Doppelbock. So we made a small batch, divided it, one with wheat, other one with Abbey Ale yeast from Belgium. And we made it super strong, 10.2% alcohol, and it was divine. So when I came back to, where are you? Oh, Exeter.
How
the place
dare
I can
you? How dare you?
The place I can see from my house. I said, why don't we make a Dunkelweizen Doppelbock? Huh? So I showed him the recipe, and so we made it. And then it needed a name. And because it's such a powerful name, and because it's my recipe, and I think I sometimes do look marginally dapper, they decided to call it a Dapper Detonator.
And I would say it comes in at 10%?
10-2.
10-2. But
10-1.
But the kind of the secret there with the detonator is it tastes not 10-2.
Yes.
But
We have tricks up our sleeves, you know.
yeah,
that.
well, take it easy on the tricks.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that at times, Horst has been known to brew in French cuffs. Literally brew in French cuffs.
That is dapper.
Yes.
That's dapper as hell.
You know,
Man.
at times he has come into the brew house in a bow tie.
I knew we were underdressed.
he
Look at
is
you. Look at you.
Dapper detonator. Yes.
Oh, we're so underdressed.
When you're making elegant beers, you might as well look elegant. What's wrong with being sophisticated? You know, the burping and farting set is just not my style.
But the beard is. We'll keep the beard. That's fine. So yeah, the beer is in the book as well. Again, which we should mention
Yes, it is.
after the show is on sale, and he's signing it. He'll sign it however you
But
want.
it's very expensive.
Yes.
It's very expensive.
Why would an author even disclose that?
I'm honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You should. It's right here. We saw Colt 45 in it, which we were excited about.
Hey, it covers everything, but once I sign it, it becomes invaluable.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's like it's a national treasure right here. This is great. On the back of it, you find a map to some treasure. Yeah. I'd like to open the floor for questions if we have any. Does anyone have any questions for Neighborhood Beer Company?
No, you don't. Do you?
What have you been saying this whole time?
Need a translator. Need a translator.
Joe, how to translate that?
Note for next time.
You think there's something wrong with my accent? You want me to speak like that?
The guy in the blue shirt right there.
Hi, guy in the blue shirt.
Hi, when I first talked to you guys,
Hi, Dave.
you said that you were going to be serving beers that we've never had before.
Ah.
Done that.
Yes.
What's next?
Ooh, what's next?
What's next
is the
Ooh.
question. Crick.
You gotta repeat the question first.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So yeah,
I have been on the stage before.
Oh. Well, the show's yours. Let's get out of
That's
here.
called a
Sean.
dapper.
Sorry, we don't
get
have
out of here.
we don't have any polls back here though.
We're out of here.
Go ahead, repeat it.
No. The question was, you have already invented many beers that we have not had before. What is next? After 5 months of being open, what's next?
You're really starting to hit that
Yeah,
peak.
it's only 5
Yeah,
months.
you're really
I know.
just-
At the top of the bell curve
Yeah.
here.
Okay. 2 quick answers. We have about 65 to 70 recipes waiting to be made. The second part of the answer is I'm friends with Mike O'Donnell, who does marketing, and he has basically put a lock on my lips.
Oh.
I am not allowed, he will kill me, I am not allowed to reveal what's next. Thus, you have to come to our tap room on Epping Road and check in periodically to see what we are about to release next.
All right.
I just give you one tantalizing hint, and then he will.
Earmuffs. Mike.
Uh-oh.
Earmuffs.
They're holding him back. They're holding him back.
You just say
No.
go ahead.
Hang on. You know that IPAs are based essentially on Cascade type hops that have a very citrusy pamplemousse, grapefruit component. We have a very strong and malty beer in the fermenter, which has a grapefruit type appeal that comes, a citrus type appeal that comes from a citrusy fruit, but it's not grapefruit, nor is it lemon, nor is it lime. It's a different type of citrus, and it's in the fermenter now, and it has lovely, lovely, lovely caramel malty and gentle citrus flavors that you have never, ever had in that combination, and they come from the hops. That's all I'm going to say.
So, new things.
Will you kill me?
We
Not yet? Okay. Thank you.
He was doing this in the back if you didn't see it. Yeah.
He's on the phone.
We
He
have a-
said too much.
We have a calendar every month for coming out with new beers. So these new beers might be just twists on classic beers, or they might be entirely new styles,
Yep.
or things that no one's done 400 or 500 years.
So you're living in a biodome.
Something like that.
You're making your own fruits. I understand. There's a whole new fruit that's coming out. And I want to say, unlike a lot of other breweries that have just begun, you serve pints now.
We do.
Talk a little bit about that, because in order to serve pints in New Hampshire, as a lot of people may not know, you need to serve some type of food.
Correct.
So what are going on for the food?
So we opened 5 months ago.
Oh, right, yeah. So
Yes.
you're fresh.
Yeah,
you're seasoned veterans at this point.
Broken
Yes.
record.
Yeah.
So literally,
When did
30
you open?
so
Seems like only 5 months
it
ago.
seems like only 5
Yeah.
months ago. We had a lot of folks come in and say, we can only have 4 ounces of this beer. If they like this beer, we can give it to them, but we can only sell them 4 ounces.
Right.
And a lot of people were angry. So we had to think of a way of being able to give them a little bit more.
And I deflected that anger away from me.
It was good.
It's someone else's problem now. It's
They were all
you know,
horses,
yeah.
man.
So Eric, who's over there. Hi, Eric.
Yes.
Is our new tasting room manager, who also is a chef. And he has created our menu, which are grilled cheeses. We have 4 different varieties of gourmet grilled cheeses.
Give it up for grilled cheese.
Awesome. We have
Hey, he
Perfect.
did the trick for the
I like grilled
thoroughbreds.
cheese.
Come on.
We-
It was cheap, quick, and did the trick. Will you?
it did.
I like grilled cheese.
Yep.
Can I lie?
No. I don't want to have any follow-up jokes about that one.
Well, grilled cheese.
None.
Grilled
Some
cheese.
chili.
We have chili
All right.
from the bistro in Hampton.
Oh.
And Eric makes it there.
Excellent.
And we have large hot pretzels with dipping sauce.
Yes. So pretzels. Big fan.
In
All right, good.
all day.
Nice. Checking in here.
Okay. But our beers are excellent.
That's true too. Yeah.
That's all. Oh, okay.
Well,
So
there's that.
yeah.
Yes.
it's
If you
very-
take away anything from this podcast,
I mean, listen. Yeah.
Okay, we satisfy. Okay, there are many excellent restaurants in Exeter. We satisfy the bureaucratic requirement. Go and have a great meal in Exeter, and then on the way out, stop at our place.
And have a pretzel.
I mean, I feel like that's where we should. I feel like that's where we should end it. But I want to say one more thing. And I forgot what I was going to say, which is the best part about podcasting is I had something go. No. Any more beers you want to give a quick shout out to? Because I know you have more than 4 on tap at your brewery. I believe you have 6 total on tap.
We have 5 right
5.
now, including the Trophy Mutt.
Trophy Mutt, which
Yes.
is
Also an alt beer.
okay.
Has a little bit more of a bitter finish.
All right. And if you guys are not from Portsmouth, you can get. Oh God, I want to say the number wrong, Mike. How many accounts do you have in the area?
41 now.
41 places you can try Neighborhood Beer Company. So
Including this one.
oh, totally.
and-
Woo! I mean, there's we call it 40 plus the 1, which is right. This is the place to have it
And-
right
and
here.
that-
that
This counts for at
represents
least 5.
8% of the market in Portsmouth.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you, sir.
So are you gonna make a cask?
Ooh. Question was, are you gonna make a cask?
We have discussed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say we are a German-oriented brewery. We don't make cask beer. We do barrel-aged specialty beers.
Mike is itching right now. Shut up, horse.
Hey.
Shush.
There are
Shush, shush, shush.
some combinations of
I
German,
see the big hook coming.
of German-style beers with very interesting used barrels that are in our future program. There you have it.
Oh no, I was gonna say thank you.
Without
but I don't know what I'm
isinglass.
gonna say. Hold on, secrets. fine.
That's not a no.
All right. So again, can we please give it up for Joe and Horst of Neighborhood Beer
Thank you.
Company?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, guys. Thank you, sir. Yes. And again, the beer is here all night. Again, the Boss Flamingo, the Decadent Eclipse, Hollowed Hammock, and the Junkyard Pedigree is on tap. Come on.
You can go home with an autograph or Horst.
We're gonna have a. And then yes, we'll be doing.
I can't believe we missed that on mic.
We're gonna have a full translation of that whole episode on SBLPodcast.com. I guess anything else you want to say, Ben, before we kind of shut it down?
No, I just want to say
people
thanks
right
to
here,
Rob
people
and the
right
Coat for having us again. It's our second year doing this year.
I'd like to give
Really
it up to
appreciate
Roger,
it.
too.
Huh?
So cheers to Roger over there. It was.
Say something. You don't tell me. You got a mic.
He's looking for permission. Like, is
That's
it
what I
okay? I
said.
say thanks to
Listen,
Rob.
listen, I'm the captain now, but you
Okay,
can do
no.
whatever you want. That's fine.
Everyone chant Roger, 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 Roger. Thank you.
And I believe we're doing
I'll
some
just
sort
chant it
of
by myself.
some sort of giveaway
Yeah.
happening tonight. You want to
Yeah.
get into real quick?
So we want to talk about. Actually, do you want to have Dave just jump in here for a second?
Dave, get over here. Dave Adams from
Dave Adams.
Griller Tour. With you. He's a man of taking charge. Oh God, here we go. Perfect.
I gotta follow Horst. I don't know if
Do you know? Yes, Sean. Go get. What do we got?
I'm done already.
Just so Dave, you're doing a. Is this still on?
Yes.
Yep.
Sort of.
So you're going to be doing a tour to Nirax, which is the New England Real Ale Cask Festival. They host three events in the year. The biggest one is is it still Somerville?
Nope. Near
South
now the Lithuanian Club in Boston.
Okay.
Lithuania Club.
So what is what's the activity that's happening during Beer Week?
During Beer Week, we're going to run a promotion here at the Coat of Arms that we've done for the past 3 years. Every time you have a cask ale, you get a raffle ticket, and we're going to draw 4 people to win admission to Nirax and a free pint glass when you go down there.
Awesome.
So come in starting on Thursday. So come into the Coat, get you a cask ale, and you might win a trip to Nirax and be able to try 100 firkins of cask ale from around the world down there in Boston, which is a great event. We love it.
Excellent.
With the guys
That's
at Nirax.
awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. Thank you.
It's
Thanks.
freaking awesome.
Thanks.
Son of a.
Try the schnitzel.
I freaking can't wait.
Anything else you want to give a shout out to? You get. I mean, the whole week ahead of you still. What's going on with the bus?
The bus right now, our Beer Week is going to be the Hangover Cure Tour, which is almost sold out. We only have 2 seats left.
So what's going on with Hangover Cure?
The Hangover Cure Tour we run with Whim Craft Beer Cafe. You have a beer brunch at Whim with a very special menu that morning at 11 o'clock. At 12, we bring both of our buses down to Whim Craft Beer Cafe. We're going to pick up 28 people, and we're going to take them to 2 breweries that are not open yet, and you will be the first people to check out
Gasp.
the newest breweries in Portsmouth.
Pow.
Liar's Bench
Yes.
and Great Rhythm, which is a brewery you've not been able to visit for some time, but now they have their own space. We're going to be the first ones there, and they've assured us that we get some special surprises for the people on the tour. So again, 2 seats left.
Include brunch.
2
Couple
breweries,
tours. Yeah.
and then back. We'll be sampling beer at both of the breweries,
Nice.
and then back to Whim. So
I don't know that last part. I'm going to get a sample beer. Now I might have to get a ticket.
and we get
Son of
tickets.
a.
So
beer.
that's how
All
we
right.
end Portsmouth Beer Week. We've done it the last 3 years. The first year we did Somebody Knows. The second year we're the first people to go deciduous. So we're lucky and fortunate to be able to get together with Liar's Bench and Great Rhythm to put together a really nice tour for the end
Awesome.
of the week.
Sounds awesome.
And they're both on Islington Street, these new breweries?
Yes, you can probably throw a rock from one to the other.
And
give it a
where do they find information about the bus?
The bus is on nhbeerbus.com or portsmouthbeerweek.com.
Thank you.
I think it's going to close it out. Anything to say, BM, for the rest
No,
of the week?
yeah, again, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you folks online for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter at whatever, doesn't matter. I'm not going to do it anyway.
BM Watts.
At whatever doesn't matter on Twitter.
And so Twitter handle for Neighborhood Beer Company is what?
NH Beer Co.
NH Beer Co.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm at Seagulls Bev Lab. This is at
twobeerguys.com.
And again, plenty of stuff going on the rest of the week. This is only day 3 of 8. I think we're doing a full start of Saturday to Monday. So we're doing kind of a
10 days. It ends
10
on
days.
leap year, which is
right.
you only see it every 4 years. But this is the rare one that it actually ends on a Monday. So it's going to be awesome.
Yes,
Just like Sean's dignity.
Monday is fun day.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the neighborhood beers. And yeah, thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.